Against this right back, Charlie, definitely.
Still the foot.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
Because he always used to act when like defending. I think it's like
Am I live? Of course I'm live. I can't lie. It was muted, but I made it look gracious and easy, much like Gabriel Jesus' difficult finish yesterday. As I said, I'm back again. First things first, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night, whether you're on Twitch or YouTube. Appreciative to all my long-term supporters. If you're new here or in general, make sure you're hitting the like button, you're subscribing. Let me know your comments on the individual performances from yesterday, how you felt on Nottingham Forest against Arsenal, how you feel about Arsenal, maybe even pulling a rabbit out the hat and making a signing. And of course, this Benjamin White Zinchenko stuff. Now, I'm not going to lie. Everybody's allowed their opinion. I champion that on my channel. I always say I don't tell you what to think, just think. But of all the talking points where we could talk about maybe Arsenal still needing to score more goals when we have all that possession, speaking about Saka getting back to winning ways, Smith Rowe getting a start and doing relatively well without pulling up any trees, didn't need to concede a goal and make it nervous towards the end. Of all the talking points, based on Nottingham Forest and what we have against Liverpool at the weekend, Benjamin White and Zinchenko, I wouldn't even call it handbags. I'm not being funny, but I don't think he played football at any level, really and truly, whether that's five-a-side, whether that's professional football, whether that's Sunday league, whatever have you. In the grand scheme of things, that's nothing. I just see two passionate players giving it to each other and, wanting to do better and keep a clean sheet. Anyone that's been in, them kind of environments or high testosterone environments, that's what men do. Men fight, men argue, It's the same sort of stuff with Eddie and Ketia and Ceballos a few weeks ago, Gabriel, Big Gabby, and obviously Declan Rice. I don't think it's nothing really and truly. I am a bit disappointed in Zinchenko, even though we have seen that a lot, purely because I think he was one of the best players on the pitch. I think in our last two games, Zinchenko's done quite well. And unfortunately, his role to play in the goal we conceded obviously is going to be the talking point. Turn on your notification bells. I'm sure you would have seen my tactical analysis. I did speak on that goal. I think Zinchenko is playing people onside, and it's a carbon copy of West Ham. And just about any time Zinchenko is targeted. But I actually feel, not really, but in general, I feel Declan Rice could have done better. I think if you go and watch that goal again, Gabriel and Saliba, a bit like when we played Liverpool at the Emirates last season and we have them on Sunday, both of them are unaware of that Nottingham Forest striker until it's too late. Saliba is actually over covering and then he's tried to be a hero and been out-muscled. So I'm not saying you can't have fault with Zinchenko, for example, but I think you've got to keep it fair. And there's a lot of people. And even with that, I think Nottingham Forest played about 7-8 passes. It's a lovely ball from Danilo, obviously, to the right-hand side or left-hand side. But why did we allow that to happen? Everybody shares the W's. Everybody shares the L's. But as I said, let me know your thoughts on the game. We're going to go over what Mikel Arteta's had to say. And I'm quite delighted, actually, that the transfer window is about to close because I'm tired of making nonsense videos. But for what's left of it, we'll go over that. And even on that, people, again, slightly just before I came online, I saw something in relation to the young Marquinhos. I DM'd it to myself. Where is it? Where is it? Keep your thoughts coming, people. I'm just making sure we've got everything. Marquinhos has been linked with a loan move away. To be honest, it just ain't worked really and truly. You've gone Norwich, ain't done nothing over them sides. You went Nantes in France, ain't done nothing there, not really playing, not even to the standard of, if you can't make it at Arsenal, put yourself in the shop window, really and truly, people. So yeah, it is what it is. Big up American Gooner, the CEO of the platform. Shout out to you. Zinni's decision making when passing the ball is scary, takes way too long. Most balls go to die with him. He does have one or two a game. Not worth it, in my opinion. I can't lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big fan of Zinchenko. I do think we need someone a bit stronger defensively. I feel had we have sorted out number 8 in the summer, the one luxury you give Zinchenko is that he is quite creative. To where I think this football club wants to go, if we can have a creative left back, great. But we need to move away from that, if I'm completely honest. And Zinchenko needs to do better defensively. I think he's improved defensively this season. Unfortunately, he's just never going to be top of the tops in that regards. And we've seen it against West Ham. We've seen it several times. I'm not even boying Zinchenko, but if everybody's fit and we assume that Timber and Tomiyasu are on the bench and Zinchenko plays and the rest of the 11 is spot on, Zinchenko's going to be the one you target. He vacates that space because he's told to invert, so there's space in behind. He's not switched on necessarily defensively, doesn't think like a defender first. That's where you're going to get your change. That's the weak spot. Timber will be a massive upgrade. Obviously, Zinchenko is more creative because he's a centre mid by trade, but Timber can offer something inverting and he's stronger 1v1. And if we want to win Prems and Champs, you know, Zinchenko can be utilised. But yeah, Lino Sosa going to Villa. Any thoughts? Swear down. Is there any substance in that? Where did you find that out? Is that just rumors or is there substance in that? If there is any substance in it, oh god, yeah, big up them. Hey, I did tweet yesterday there'd be some shockers. Obviously, Bradley Ibrahim's gone. We'll focus on that in a second. But for me, you know, if there's a clearer pathway for Lino to make it, obviously at Aston Villa, go and do your thing. If they're, you know, obviously every manager and every club is going to sell you dreams. But if they're selling you a genuine pathway that, you know, you're going to progress to the first team, if they've got a proper development path that you're going to go out on loan if you're not going to be in Emirates thinking. No clue of where he grew up, but I'm sure we bought him from West Brom. So he must be a Birmingham kind of guy. So you probably move back to your family. If Arsenal make a decent profit and a sell-on percentage, I'm all for that, really. If I, you know, a lot of them Haylen boys need to sit there and think about what they're doing. You know, where you look at Koza Dewberry and obviously Waters, who, you know, Waters more than Koza Dewberry have been on the bench, you're not getting a look in really. And them two, I say them two in particular because they've slapped the likes as well, people. I say them two in particular because they've got contracts on the table. From a club perspective, you're not going to loan them out until they commit their futures. And where I look at Sosa, Koza Dewberry, you know, Waters, Sego Jr., under 21s, it's not trade. You're not going to, you know, you're faster than everyone, you're stronger than everyone, you've been playing against these same teams and players for a while. You need to be outside of your comfort zone, really and truly, and see if you can swim in strong currents. Now, Arsenal probably sit there and say, you know what, he's a good player, he's not going to make the grade. We've got Tomiyasu, we've got Timber, Tomiyasu, who are, you know, in their mid-20s. You've got Zinchenko, Kirill can play there. You know, the club might bring in another multifunctional defender as well. So it's probably that. Obviously, I'm sad to see him go, but it is what it is, man. Inner circle, I hope you're doing well and safe. I hope you know, we're all wishing you good health. I hope the flu isn't anything serious, man. Wow, man are just about scraping past Forest. Crazy. Malik, you support Chelsea. You let Nuno Tavares and then man claim 3 points off you. Please settle, man. DG, who you backing? Blanco or Zinchenko? Come on, man. Like, if it was a fight, not to get into all of that, but Zinchenko, I'm not going to lie, it's not going to end well for you. Benjamin White's going to slump you. If I'm completely honest with you, you're going to start crying and that, if I'm honest. Personally, I think Benny and Zinni is just how football is. Any sport happens to see standards. It's just a man thing, like in a circle. It said, like, I'm sorry, but I genuinely think if I understand the social media and content creators making this more what it is, engagements and stuff like that. Myself included, it's in the title. But realistically, anyone who is really looking at Benjamin White and Zinchenko making this a massive thing, you don't know football, in my opinion, or high pressurized environment. Smash there. Like, is this Benzema deadline day talk true? You never know, but I'm not with it really and truly. Like, it's not making sense. If Benzema's clearly been angling for a move from Saudi Arabia, if it was going to happen, it would have happened already. Be an expensive loan, it's a myth. Do you think, Alfie, why's your question not coming up? That's jarring, man. But I can read it out. No clue why it's not coming up on screen, my guy. But there we go. Do you think Arteta not bringing the academy players or trusting them is a big issue, or do you think he'll bring them through eventually? I don't personally think Mikel Arteta is on the Haylen thing like Arsene Wenger, like he's going to be giving charity caps and things like that. And it's a bit of a double-edged sword because at the end of the day, people are not really going to care about young players if you're not getting 3 points, where you need to give them scope to make mistakes and that. And, you know, it's high-pressure stakes, obviously, in football. So, and obviously trying to rebuild Arsenal and fight for trophies, I don't think you can play inexperienced players, play experienced players, give everybody minutes. So I sympathize. But there has been scope and opportunities to give these lot debuts. Not everyone, but present debuts. Even when you look at someone like Ethan, let's be honest, you know, I don't doubt that the club like him and Mikel Arteta likes him and he's got a lot of potential and all of this jazz. But when he made his debut last season, Reologically speaking, there was talk of potentially him going to Liverpool or City, and clubs are sniffing around taking him before he commits to a scholarship and long-term a pro. So that was probably a bit strategic. I mean, you go back a few years ago where we had Flores and Amari Hutchinson and Mika Beref, they were all on the bare, man. There was a point where bare players were traveling, bare of these Highland boys were traveling in the Premier League up and down the country, and no one was making debuts. And again, these players need to be selfish. I understand if they all want to make it here, you know, let's be honest, out of all the Prem clubs, we are bringing through players. We're probably still piggy banking off Nelson and Nketiah, Smith Rowe and Saka, but we're doing that. So I understand it. But now they need to look beyond their love for the football club, the comfortability here, and do what they need to do so that 12 months from now, you're a next level player. Because the alternative is, let's just say with someone like Sosa, you don't play first team football enough. You sign a new deal, ultimately stagnate. You get released by the club. You will find another club, but you're struggling. At least if you've come through West Brom, you've come through at Arsenal, you've gone somewhere and got 20, 30, 40, all the way to 100 career appearances. You're a competent footballer. Someone will take a chance on you, really. What I would say is, you know, the better we're going to get, the less opportunities in theory there's going to be for young players. I genuinely think, you know, Nelson and Nketiah, Smith Rowe, they were in the first team for a while. Saka's an anomaly because he's a once in a generation. He doesn't matter what the club looked like, who was the manager, he was always going to bust through, sort of thing. But where you look at the other players, one reason they were allowed to play and get regular game time, obviously because our squad was crap. Now we're getting a better squad. There's going to be less opportunities. I would say, though, if players are not going to progress to the first team, can we develop them to a certain point where we can make decent money on them? It's not the same, but you look at Chelsea. You know, if they ever say Colwill, Gallagher, all of them kind of Cobham boys, if they ever sell them, they're getting decent money, you know, again. And the club have got some good examples. You know, Iwobi was sold for decent money under Mikel Arteta. Joe Willock went for a decent fee. Balogun's gone for a decent fee. Hopefully, and Nketiah, a couple other men have moved on and we bring some 30 players in, really. So let's keep it moving. I hear that, but I don't regret the Joe Willock sale, man. I don't regret the Joe Willock sale. Big up Joe, man. Signing a man in the summer is basically writing the season off. We're going to buy a player when everyone's strengthening their squads. I hear it, but for me, it's irrelevant. It's not that it's irrelevant because I want to see signings in the summer, but it's irrelevant. Like, we're in January. It's freezing in the United Kingdom. From now till May, this is what we've got, really. My money is on Arsenal sealing a contract in principle for Zubimendi to join in the summer. I mean, I'm here for that, man. Peeps got to look at only 5% really make it to the first team, and what academies are used really is for money. I mean, it's almost an impossible job. Nobody loves Arsenal young players more than me on YouTube. That's a fact. You see the videos, but it's an impossible job. And I really do think people underestimate just seeing one player come through the academy, you know. It really is. There's a lot of politics at play in academy football. There's a lot of there's a lot of variables to it. Sometimes it's not just ability. Sometimes it comes down to luck. You know, I do think there's a bias at Arsenal. If you're a central midfielder, a winger, more creative player, you probably have more of a chance of making it than a defender. How many defenders have come through our academy and in recent years? And when they have, it's been accidental things. Let's be honest with you. Kieran Gibbs, accidental left back. You know, Maitland-Niles, makeshift left back, or makeshift fullback, better yet. You know, Waters, I would be disappointed to lose Waters. Personally, if I was Waters, I don't know how I would feel. If I was Waters, I might think, you know what? I would love to go on loan in January. You know, Cedric is leaving, but Cedric's played ahead of me. You've got Timber to come back. You've got Tomiyasu. You've got Zinchenko. You've got all of these guys that play left back and right back, and he can play centre half as well. We're only in the Prem and the Champs, so I might not get a look in. You know, I want to go out on loan. I want to play first team football. But at the same time, if you're him, you might sit there and say, you know what, Cedric is leaving. People get injuries. There could be an opportunity here for me to make stuff. I did say in the summer, I think Waters needed to go on loan, and as a minimum, he needs to go on loan in January. But this is where the contract comes into it, because the club are probably sitting there for him and Cozy Drewbury and saying, there's no point loaning them out if they're not going to sign new deals. You might as well just play what you need to play in the academy, and then it's not our problem anymore, man, really. I appreciate Turner showing his Arsenal heart yesterday. Big him up. I actually feel Turner played a lot. This is the best I've seen Turner play, actually, in goal. And to be fair, we didn't really test him like that. Zinni and Ben White are our 2 second best fullbacks at the club fighting. We need depth. If we've got Zinchenko, Benjamin White, Tommy, Timber, we're doing all right. Shout out yourself, B. Greetings, boss. Here is a suggestion for Clown Teta, a bit harsh. Since he doesn't want to get a bona fide striker, play Jesus in the left 8 and allow him to rotate within games with Saka and Trossard up front. I hear you. And when you look at someone like Joe Linton with Eddie Howe, maybe there's something there. For me, until we sign a big boy striker, I'm all for Trossard playing up front. But for me, Gabriel Jesus through the middle. What I would like to see in the summer, or if we could wake up in a dream world, we sign a striker, it might sound mad. But I think if you sign a striker, Gabriel Jesus will score more goals. I've come to accept, you know what? We tried the thing. We tried to take you from City, make you the striker, give you a platform. Let's learn from City. You was a good squad player. You was a good rotation option, but they didn't live or die by you scoring. So let's do something where we have a proper striker. Obviously, the Odegaards, the Sakas, the Martinellis, the Jesuses, the Trossards, you lot still have to contribute and chip in. But if we get a striker that has the pedigree of getting 20+ league goals, let Jesus do the Jogo Bonito, the Brazilian thing, and I think he'll get a couple of more goals. I think if you start him out wide or just give him more of a license, which he does have a license up front, he'll score a couple of them dodgy finishes. I mean, I like Gabriel Jesus. I think he's a quality player. The man, he doesn't make sense because he makes the difficult finishes look easy. The easy finishes look difficult, but it is what it is with him, man, really and truly. How do you rate Smith Rowe last night? Like a 6, 7 out of 10 in a good way. Like I wasn't expecting fireworks. You're still a bit rusty, probably putting a bit of weight. You ain't been playing like that, but you did okay, really and truly. Big up Kai Havertz, but the bar's on the floor. Any central midfielder at Arsenal, you just need to show me you want the ball, you can turn, and you want to link up with the attacking players. That's enough for me to see you start for the club. So step in the right direction. I hardly think, it's a thing where Smith Rowe must start against Liverpool. It'd be interesting to see what he goes with against Liverpool. I think Kai Havertz personally comes back in. I would love to see Smith Rowe keep his place in the side. I think there's logic with Jorginho. I'm hopeful of Thomas Partey playing some part, but even if he's fit enough to be on the bench, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure no Arsenal fan expects him to start or really get 90 minutes. Should Arsenal go all out for Tony in the summer like Rice? But hey, go for your Tonys, your Vlahovic's, your Osmans. Just make sure August or whatever, when the Premier League starts, we're sitting on this stream and you lot talk with your friends and me the same about potential lineups in our front three with a striker. It's as simple as that. Big up Graham in the cut and shout yourself N16. The only thing I can defend the club on in January is that we haven't purchased any leftovers so far. No point in panic buying and being lumbered with players on a long contract. No quality this month. I hear that, Graham, but for me, should have been done in the summer. We are not able to act in January purely because of what we've done in the summer due to FFP. Because last January, we was going for players that we were told weren't available, but, there was 60, 70 odd million to be bidding for Caicedo. We obviously got Kirill, Jorginho and Trossard, and I'm not expecting a striker or a winger or whatever. And I think we need to maximize internally what we have. But at the same time, I would have loved to have walked into this January or leave in January and enter in February with a centre mid, with one more defensive reinforcement, dream chasing and probably in the summer, but striker and a winger. It is what it is, man. I was curious about whether 2 up top could bang with Jesus. It could, but how many times in world football now do you really see 2 strikers? And I don't really have any evidence for it, but I think if we do see 2 strikers, I think I don't think Arteta will play 2 strikers purely because probably have to sacrifice a bit too much in that regards. Nah, man, Zinchenko, listen, don't judge a book by its cover, but Benjamin White is absolutely knocking Zinchenko out several bells. I'm pretty Zinchenko, I think Waters and them, man, might be able to beat him up really and truly, man. Big up yourself, Delta. I appreciate that. Love the youth development work you did recently. Appreciate that, man. These things happen in football. Every game in training ain't really no big thing. All defenders probably have a clean sheet clause, and White was PD missed. But he probably missed his bonus. Probably. But I like to see that because they always sit there and smash the like button, people. What's going on? Big up you lot who have already. They always sit there and say, oh, Arsenal ain't got no passion. They don't care. When I see man vex, like really and truly, there's several things we could have done better. I still think we've got issues in front of goals. I think there was a lot of foreplay, not quite enough penetration in Nottingham Forest's box. But in terms of improvements, I think I would have loved to have seen Matt Turner worked a lot more and have to pull off saves. I can't imagine Match of the Day have too many highlights of his. Evidently, there was no need for us to concede, really. A small lapse in concentration. And it was, the second half was a lot more even. It was fairly one-way traffic. And literally in the 85th minute, it was a nervous end to the game, really, unnecessarily, man. How do you know so much about the youth? Because I love youth football, you know. That's what actually started the YouTube content. That's actually not my most viewed content on the platform, but that's that. I'm by no means no expert or any of that. I just love, for me, I just get a buzz of seeing young players develop, like, you know. And then it's quite funny when you do socials, because I'm sure if you go far enough, if you just type in Deluded Gooner Saka and go back far enough, when he was performing at left back and left wing, I tried to tell man his future is a right winger, and they were saying you don't know what you're talking about. I was like, no, did you not watch the Checo Trade Trophy where my man's 15, 16 and destroying people? I just get a buzz out of that, really and truly, man. Some pundits are saying beating Liverpool is crucial. What's your opinion? Can a draw suffice? We can't afford to exactly drop more points, you know, and regardless of if we beat Liverpool, everybody's going to drop more points, but we didn't help ourselves at all in December. It's a 6-pointer, really and truly. You know, it's a 6-pointer for me. It still wouldn't mean you win the league, but at least if you could sit there and say, you know, at the Emirates, you beat City, you beat Liverpool, the two big boys in the league, it shows that you might not be able to win the war, but you could win a battle. I wouldn't say the narrative changes, but if you get 9 points out of available 9, the narrative starts to change. And it's a big confidence booster, really and truly. If we're honest, we should have beat them in the FA Cup, and it's quite disappointing that we didn't. It's, you know, the last 2 games against Anfield have been frustrating for me, more so last season than this year. But fundamentally, we've dropped winning points from winning positions, which if you want to win a league, you can't keep affording to do that. If you can't win, don't lose. I would take a point, but I'd love to kind of, you know, crash Jurgen Klopp's farewell party, and I'm sure they want to give him a right present. But, you know, Jurgen Klopp, you've been battering us really and truly since you've stepped foot into the Premier League. It's time for you to do us a solid, man. And I know Jurgen Klopp likes Arsenal, man. I know he came to love Liverpool, but I know Arsenal was his first love, man. He's always waxing lyrical about our players. Who knows, man, if kind of what we're doing above Mikel Arteta or committing to what Mikel Arteta wants, who knows? If the Cronkies were on that a lot sooner, maybe we could have got a Pep or a Klopp, but who knows? Had we have got one of those when we had a legit chance, I personally don't think it would have worked out, purely because, you know, the people above them wouldn't have been singing from the same hymn sheets, man. Your youth team and young player scouting reports were the first vids of yours I watched, Dean. I appreciate that, man. And I need to get back on them, really and truly, man. Liverpool lose to Chelsea, we beat them next week. Watch. I hope so. And we've got extra 24 hours on them to prepare. So we need to make it count. I'm glad the team won, but the style of play is so drab. It just feels like we've got 11 midfielders. I think there needs to be a bit more intention. And don't get it twisted. I like the fact that we take our time. We're patient. We can't go forward. We'll go back. We won't force it. But life's about balance. Sometimes, not every day jabbing and bobbing and weaving. Sometimes just try and land a mad blow and see what can happen in that regards, man. The entire attacking third is so slow, predictable, scared to shoot, and just lacks a threat. U-shaped passing. Do you feel Odegaard is gun shy, especially in the zone 14 to 17 transition? Don't clue what that means, but I would say Odegaard's kind of forgot his shooting boots that were on last season. But I don't think anybody, to be honest with you, I don't think Odegaard's getting enough praise, really. I think Odegaard is, you know, even with our form kind of going off the ball, he's kind of getting back to his best. And every now and again, Odegaard does something great on the ball, and he's just not rewarded with an assist for something amazing. And one criticism of Odegaard, you're a high IQ footballer. Sometimes I think you're operating at levels that your teammates can't really operate with. Not really a fan of Osimhen over Vlahovic or Tony. Victor reminds me of Aubameyang, whereas Tony is more of a Kane technical striker. I mean, I'm all for all three. I think the most realistic is Tony. I think, you know, the basis of Mikel Arteta wanted Vlahovic. There's got to be something there, and we've been linked with Osimhen. I think Osimhen goes Chelsea. I think we've got no chance, but you never know. I slightly disagree, because even if you watch AFCON, you know, Victor Osimhen isn't doing much, but I think I've seen enough from his general play, really. Even who did Nigeria play? Was it Cameroon? Where he's kind of made the goal that Lookman somehow missed, but it went in the back of the net. Like, I think he works the channels well. I think he's all right in that regards, man, if I'm honest with you. Nah, man, I'm on Vlahovic, man. Life's about balance. I can't be a philosopher, but it's about balance, man. It is about balance. You know, it's about variety as well. I think we have to win on Sunday. Presumably, Liverpool win tonight. We can close the gap to 2 points. We must start like we did in the FA Cup, but have to be more clinical with the chances. We have to, but how much blood can you draw for us from a stone? I do think these players have a lot more to offer in the final third, and they should be bagging and scoring in that. But who's really clinical like that, really? Like, as Arteta said, he has to maximize that. But Is there anyone in this Arsenal team I look at and think, yeah, you're a bagsman? Not really. Bunch of great players, not knocking them, but yeah, man, you are right though, because that's why we lost against Liverpool. We didn't kill them when we had the chance. In football, you need to kill teams when you have the opportunity. And Liverpool is the best team for that, really. Liverpool's a team you have to kill. It's not enough for them to be on their deathbed. You need to pull the plug. Again, people, big up you lot. Keep your thoughts coming. Smash the like button and things like that. Let's see what the talking points are saying. If we're not going to sign anyone, Arteta and co should have cleaned house a bit at least. I hear it, but we're in that difficult position where man can't sell players before we buy some. And we can't buy before we sell. And really and truly, you know, you look at Eddie Nketiah, Emil Smith-Rowe, Aaron Ramsdale, El Nene, even Nelson, plenty of players. In theory, I'd be open to maybe letting go for a variety of reasons, but mid-season, it don't really make sense. Cedric can cut, but even with Cedric, and I'm not defending the cases of Cedric, that's one defensive body out and none coming in, and I might not rate Cedric, but Arteta must. He played him in what was essentially a dead rubber in the Champions League because he was saying, oh, PSV, good form away from home, blah, blah, blah. He didn't throw in young Waters, and obviously, I rate Waters over Cedric. Cedric is probably ahead of him. He's a professional footballer, a seasoned vet, a Portuguese winning international footballer. I understand it. But based on what Arteta is doing, if you let that go out, someone has to come in. What do you think of Partey, Rice and Smith-Rowe for the midfield? I think we would have more to offer. I would drop Odegaard. I disagree. I'm not dropping Odegaard. But in theory, Rice, Partey and Smith-Rowe, I think he could cook. Odegaard plays every game for me a bit like Saka, man. Obviously, no one is without faults. But yeah. Do you think Aston Villa under Emre was just a hype? Fans crucified Emre when he was at Arsenal. No, I think Emre's doing great at Aston Villa. I think he's a fantastic gaffer. But, you know, it was very premature to be talking about fighting for the leagues and things. And they've hit a wobble, really. Everybody's hit a wobble. Nobody's even talking about it. But De Zerbi, Brighton, they got absolutely crucified against Luton. And a great assist from Lokonga. You know, should we be shameless and make a video about Lokonga being back in the first team? I don't know. Everybody hits a wobble, you know. Start of the season, everyone was saying City's done for, blah, blah, blah. Look where they are. People are saying Liverpool transitional period, which they're not wrong, and they definitely are now because Klopp is cutting, but they've got the least losses in the Prem. But yeah, Emre's not the guy like that for winning league titles and stuff. He's a cup manager and the greatest of respect to Emre. I've got nothing but admiration for him, but probably premature. Arteta said, people, I think everyone was at a really good level. I'm really pleased with Emil as well because it's been a long time since he had the opportunity to start a game. I think online they said his last 3 starts have come in 3 different calendar years. That's crazy. Gabby as well because he had a slight problem in his knee, and in the last 2 days he was pushing every physio and myself to be out there with the team. It's mad because you wouldn't have known that just by watching Jesus play. He looked really sharp and he helped us to win the game. On Smith-Rowe, he said that he went for it, that he was free, he was flowing, he was moving, he was participating, his body language was good. He's just a beautiful footballer to watch. I'm really pleased because he's really connected with the team and I thought he played the game in a really good way. So let's give my man some more minutes, people. Yeah, you can see I was ready with the propaganda. He also said, people, I'm really happy with the performance. It was still in our tummy what happened here last year, and we wanted to put it right. We wanted to generate some momentum now in the league, and I think we've got that, and the performance was very good. I guess so. We've generated, you know, the car was stalling. It's going forward now. I don't think it's about that yet. I still think there's a lot of issues that were plaguing us in December, still at play. But the main thing is, and I won't even quite say we've stopped the rut, but the main thing is we've got 6 points on the board now. It could be better. It could be worse. Take with that what you will. I honestly think Saka could be an incredible 10 cam receiving the ball, back to goal, turn, run, dribble, shoot, Eden Hazard-esque, wasted as a winger, could be a huge threat. I think he could do that, but I don't think he's wasted as a winger, really. I think, if anything, he's wasted with how we're deploying him. You know, I would like to see him and Martinelli running in behind more and a lot more goal-scoring opportunities rather than hugging the touchline, if I'm honest. Partey and Timber imminent return is going to lift us to a new level and can challenge for the champs in the EPL. I hope so, but with Thomas Partey, how fit is he going to be? Timber the same. We're going to have to give them scope because Timber's played 50 minutes. Thomas Partey's played a lot more than that, but probably little man minutes as well. So we're going to have to give them time, and that's assuming there's no setbacks. I hope to see Timber back before the end of the season. I've kind of, in my head, and I'm no physio, just written him off for the season, really, because when you get these injuries, you tend to have setbacks. And I hope that's not the case. But yeah, man, I think Palace result and this result earned the points, but I fear that a performance like this against Liverpool could lead to a bad result. I mean, we still got that thing where over 90 minutes, we look a lot better than others. You know, Nottingham Forest, I think we did very well, but we should have scored in the first half. We should have worked the keeper. We need to create more. We're not even create chances. We need to. I think that game, the Liverpool game in the FA Cup, was about just putting the ball in the back of the net. The same with West Ham. I would say this was more of a case of creating clear-cut chances. It felt like one pass too many on occasion. And I do like the intricacies, but again, there's got to be balance with it, man. Morello looked decent, really and truly. You know, to be fair, Nottingham Forest defenders put in a shift. They put in a shift. Obviously, one of them let themselves down for Saka's goal when we broke. And I'm sure when they watch the first goal again, to be done from a throw-in, probably Nuno Espirito Santo wouldn't be happy. But I think Nottingham Forest, I won't quite say proud because they've lost, but they can take something from that result, people. So yeah, he spoke on momentum. I thought we completely dominated the game. We had to be patient. We didn't allow them to run, and we were able to generate chances in various ways, which is really pleasing to see for the team. I think we showed a lot of maturity to deal with the game in the way that we had to. But in the last 3-4 minutes, we could see the goal, and then you have to suffer in this league, which was unnecessary, really. If that 3, 4, 5, 10 minutes, it felt like another half in itself. And I didn't think we'd lose, but I'm pretty sure all of us were thinking, you know what, VAR is suddenly, we're seeing it on screen. We've seen this movie before. They draw the lines wrong. Somehow there's a penalty. 2 points have been dropped, you know, and I was looking at the Luton result where they're battering Brighton. I thought the footballing gods might do something, man. Yeah, people. So there you have it. Where else have we got? So yeah, he said we had to. He then said, "I thought we completely dominate game. We had to be patient." You're right on that. He then said to continue what we did, to have a lot of discipline in what we want to do. This is obviously the first half team talk. To be more prevalent and more persistent, and to take chances, to be positive and to go for it. The spaces are minimal when you have that many players around the box, and the intensity they are able to generate on both sides is very difficult to break down. At the end, we found a way. Completely off topic. Morgan Gibbs-White. Give your agent's number to Edu. We're going to talk in the summer. You might not be first choice. Zubimendi and that, and Douglas Luiz and that, but we're going to talk in the summer. Bring him. Him, Jacob Ramsey, bring one of them English brothers to the club. Gabriel Jesus, we don't see you score too much, people. Brazilian Lacazette settings. But nonetheless, for as quality as he is, it's nice to see him score and assist. He has said, on that finish, I've been working a lot. And one thing I've worked on is this kind of finishing. Is that shameless? I respect it. With the first one, when I hit the post, I was a little bit unlucky, but I kept trying. Yeah, man, I thought you wouldn't score when that happened. I've had the support of my teammates and fans. They keep supporting me. And sometimes you have to try something different to score. I think it's the best way to come back and score. And then obviously to help the team as well. All my teammates played amazingly tonight. And that's why we won the game. It's not easy coming here. Big up Trossard off the bench as well. It's not easy coming here. They have a good team. The crowd is amazing. They push the team a lot. And when they score a goal in the last 4 minutes, the crowd went crazy and pushed them. The best way to control a team like that is keeping the ball, moving the front players, moving everywhere to try to create something. Unfortunately, we didn't score in the first half, but the second half, we talked a little bit, made some changes, and then we scored 2. It's good. Fair enough. Nuno Espirito Santo said we had limited them in their game. Very good, no doubt about it. The possession they have and the way they want to build, we are achieving to block them. We're disappointed because we wanted to do something more. We wanted a bit more of the ball. Second half was more of a slightly even contest. Gabriel Jesus has said, people, he spoke about the game and obviously scoring goals. He said, first of all, to keep trying. I think first half we did so good. Unfortunately, we didn't score, but we controlled the game. The best way to control them is keeping the ball in the third part of the pitch. True. I think we did well in the first half. We didn't score, but we kept doing the same in the second half. And then we scored, controlled the game. We scored, and that's all. He then went on to say, Arteta went on to say, we really need him at his best. I had a great feeling before the game. I told him because he had some fluid in his knee, right? And he was struggling, but he was saying, I want to be on the pitch. When someone has that attitude and that desire in this moment, something good is going to happen because of the ability and quality to do that. He was magnificent today, I think. And then Gabriel Jesus thanked the fans. He said, it's all about trust. I arrived in the club with patience, with the desire to improve, to help them. I think I'm doing good. Unfortunately, I've been injured. No player wants this. My knee again. I got a kick in training, some problem again. But I'm working hard to be on the pitch because I think I can help more on the pitch than outside. The support of my teammates is good. I'm happy they keep supporting me. That's good for the players. Big up yourself. Can you see Alonso going to Liverpool, and the next generation of super managers would be Alonso versus Arteta? Coincidentally, they were born in the same town and played football when they were kids, and were both in Barcelona. Well, no, Arteta was in Barcelona's academy. So yeah, you're right with the Sociedad thing. Maybe really, Alonso to Liverpool is something that's going to be around as long as he's a manager. Saka needs competition. on that end. Look at the left wing, how it's congested with players flocking. I hear that. As much as I love Saka, he shouldn't always play 90 minutes. Arteta needs to start bringing in Nelson on that side to give him some minutes. I think it will help Saka in the long run. I think the only way we're going to get that now is if we find a striker or buy a striker that genuinely they believe in. The lowest blocks we face are very difficult to break through, whichever way you slice it. Amen. In a way, it's testament to us, the way teams try to set up against us. Amen, but it comes with the territory. Like, you're right. You're absolutely bang on. And that's something I tried to champion. But this is how teams are going to set up. Obviously, you know, teams are going to have a go, and some managers have different philosophies. But if you know a team's strengths, why on God's green earth wouldn't you come up with a game plan to limit their strengths? It'd be crazy, wouldn't it, to do anything different? And to be honest with you, I think it was more of a case of us just not shooting enough. Really, I think we was getting in the box well. We was fashioning chances, but I just don't think we was pulling the trigger. I think we was trying to be a bit too intricate. Elise and Eze are more than welcome to come to the Emirates, man. Hit the like button. Appreciate that. See, everyone said we have been figured out on how to play against us and frustrate us. We are still figuring out how to be clinical and break through these negative and defensive setups. I mean, nothing's a secret, really. You know, you look at half of these teams that got all the analytical departments in the world. Everybody's been found out. It's just the best managers and the best teams, regardless. Say you can do whatever studies you want. We're going to make it happen. Kay, appreciative to you. So, yeah, big up these lot in that regards. Let's make sure we're not missing anything with Arsenal as well as we carry on. Let's make sure we've got that. What else have we got? We've gone over that. Big up you lot, people. We've gone over that with Mikel Arteta and Jesus. Our captain, Odegaard, said all the games we played there in February are big games. This league is so competitive, but we love it. We got so much games. Champions League coming back as well. But we love it. We can't wait for the next one. We just have to keep working hard. We have to win every game, basically. Yeah, which is easier said than done. And boy, we'll have to see. We are quite used to it now, he said, when speaking about low blocks. We play a lot of teams that defend deep. We knew we would create something. It's just about staying patient and keeping going and keep finding those small spaces. We knew we had a goal coming. Odegaard's a joy to watch. He's a player I'll always defend. Gabriel Jesus has been speaking as well, people, about goals. Let's see what Gabriel Jesus had to say, people. Where is it? Where is it? And obviously, you know, he was quoted as saying goals weren't a strong point of his. I've been living with this pressure all my life, in Brazil with the national team, at Man City, and now I am close to 100 goals in the Premier League. That's not easy. Then in the champs, I am scoring a lot. In the national team, I score. I don't know what comes over you, Gabriel Jesus, but in the Champions League, you're a different animal where it comes to scoring goals. Sometimes, like I say, I'm not focused on that, in bracket scoring goals, and I think that's my mistake. So now I think I changed my mindset and I'll be in the box more and I try everything to score. I hear that and I want to see you in the box, but balance, Jesus. I think sometimes you need to accept footballers for what they are. Jesus, in a nice way, is jogger, bonito, chaotic. Don't change who you are too much, but it would be nice for you to score 1-2 tap-ins because that's your bread and butter. That's how you get 20, 30 goals. Haaland, Kane, Salah, not all of their goals are glamorous. As I said earlier, Gabriel Jesus makes no sense because the difficult finishes, he makes it look like we could do it. The easy finishes, he makes it look like, you know, we can't, you know, like it's something very difficult. But there you have it. So yeah, big up Jesus, man. Big up you on the change of mindset and things like this. He also said, always when I do this, keep in brackets, keep my head up. I think it helps me a lot. I think it was more unlucky than a miss. I keep trying. To be fair with you, I did think when you hit the post, it was quite unfortunate. But yeah, keeping it moving. Let's see what the Twitter account Albino has got for us in terms of statistics. Jesus has never been on the losing side when he has scored. So he probably ain't scored enough goals. 6 in 60 matches. He's the player who has scored in the most Premier League matches without ever having been on the losing side. Apparently, Klopp has said Salah won't be involved in the weekend. Arsenal are now only 4 points worse off after yesterday night's win, people, than from the equivalent 22 fixtures they played last season. Saka has scored or assisted in each of his last 3 Prem games. They're careful. They say he's not playing well. Arsenal attempted 756 passes. The only game they had more in this season was also against Nottingham Forest at home, where it was 769. That's crazy. I don't know what Awonieri, the Nottingham Forest striker, has against us. He must be a Chelsea. He must have grew up a Chelsea fan. Drogba must be his hero, because why does he always want to bag against us? Apparently, Eddie Nketiah has now made as many Premier League appearances for Arsenal as Mikel Arteta, people. Saka has now played as many PL games for Arsenal as Ashley Cole. Crazy. Crazy. But yeah, moving on, we've gone over that with Jesus. Not too much to talk about where Arsenal's transfer news are concerned, but apparently Galatasaray, and they've actually been linked with another fullback, so maybe a pinch of salt for this. And the very fact football can develop quick, but the very fact Cedric was on the bench yesterday tells me that there's nothing imminent. Things can change quickly, but there's nothing imminent, people. I big up yourself, North London. You did change your username. You commented yesterday as well. Yes, not shooting. They're not scared of us. We have little threat. I hear you in a circle, but I mean, fear don't mean people are quaking in their boots. And I'm not saying Arsenal are the biggest and baddest, but come on. Gabriel Jesus, Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli, Trossard. Bro, man, I shook at that. Same way the rest of the other top 6 rivals and play, even like Palace, we hear Elise, Eze were shook. Naturally, people are going to be shook. For what it's worth, though, Galatasaray in talks to complete a deal to sign Arsenal defender Cedric Suarez for a nominal transfer fee. Just get him off the wages. Some rumors he earns 100 bags a week. Now, this has changed to 70k. The language with yesterday, as we saw in our stream, was 100. The 32-year-old has a 2.5-year contract on the table to move to the Turkish Giants. Listen, Turkey's a good country. People go there on holiday. The football fans are crazy. The games are crazy. They're giving you a 2.5-year deal at 32. Go and keep it moving. Apparently, Galatasaray have until February the 9th to close the deal. So they've got a bit more leg room. The Turkish market is open for an extra 8 days versus us. So maybe that's why there's not rush, but no rush. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Twitch gang, big up yourself. Listen, Elise would be perfect. Eze would be perfect. The problem is now, how much do you get? How much are these players worth? Like, they could easily say 50, 60, 70, 80 for both of them players. Allegedly, Cedric is ready to leave North London, having made just 2 senior appearances under Arteta this season. I know one was in the Champs. What was the other one in? He has 5 months left on his current 70k deal. A move to Galatasaray would see Cedric link up with his former Gunner teammate Lucas Torreira in the squad, which also includes Chelsea loanee Hakim Ziyech, Tottenham loanee Ndombele, and Zaha. And he's also would join Mertens, Icardi, and Davinson Sanchez. That's quite a decent team. Hey. And they're managed by your former manager. Hey, take your kids out of school. Tell your wife, pack the bags. You're gone, Cedric. I feel so guilty shagging a fellow fullback. It's a fullback union thing, but you need to go. Listen, Arteta said he loved it between Benjamin White and Zinchenko. I don't really want to be talking about this, but for what it's worth, it was a bit heated, but that means it's not enough playing the way we played. The result has to be bigger, chasing the illusion of perfection, as we keep saying. That's pushing each other and being not happy conceding, and I have to encourage that and promote it in the right way and respectful way. Sometimes after the game, it's emotional and heated, but I love that the players are pushing each other and demanding excellence. I mean, I've offered enough opinions about this. Go back to the beginning of the stream if you're not joining. Don't really want to waffle anymore on my personal opinions about Benjamin White and Zinchenko. I don't think it's anything. As In a Circle said, this is what men do. Big up the women as well. We want to generate some momentum in the league, and I thought we did that. The performance was very good. We completely dominated the game. So I would say for Arteta, anyone that watched it knows we dominated it. But even if they didn't watch it and they just saw the score, can we make the scoreline reflect that? Clean sheet, 3-4 of those goals. A lot of it could do with bringing in a striker, but as a collective, we need to be a lot more ruthless, people. And I think we spoke about what he said there. So yeah, man, big up Matt Turner as well. I didn't think he was very good, but that's the best I've ever seen you play. We've seen this before, but apparently Arsenal are unwilling to allow Kirill to leave the club late in the January window amid reported interest from AC Milan. So yeah, people, in the summer, maybe that could happen, but it doesn't make sense to let Kirill go. We need a squad. Arsenal are still in contract talks over Mario Kozajubri. As we know, he's drawing interest from Dortmund, Newcastle, and Ajax. I know for a fact Borussia Dortmund and Anderlecht are very keen on him, for what it's worth, people. And again, the club are not going to let him go on loan until they sort out the contract, but it would be nice to have seen him make a debut, been involved a bit more. One Haaland boy who has left, Hertha Berlin have agreed a permanent deal to sign Bradley Ibrahim from Arsenal. The player is in Berlin with his agent Alan Redmond from Rock Nation. He is apparently signing until 2027. Arsenal will have matching rights. Does that mean a buy clause, or if somebody bids and Hertha Berlin accept it, we can match that? And we have a healthy sell-on clause and add-ons. Bradley, love his mentality, love his attitude. I think he's been on the bench in the Prem but hasn't made his debut. You look at the midfielders in front of you, you know, and midfielders that we're probably going to bring in. It doesn't make sense to stay at the club. So we wish him all the best at her for Berlin, and we hope that you can make your mark in the game, really and truly. And it is what it is. Apparently, once again, Lino Sosa could be going to Aston Villa. I wish him all the best if they've got a development path, if they've got a pathway for you either this season or next, if they're going to loan you out. And again, I don't know where he's from, but he played for West Brom. Aston Villa's is all Midland, so he's closer to his family. And not going to make it at Arsenal. Whether you're good enough or not, or we look back in hindsight, is one thing. You're not getting opportunities. You are getting called up on the bench, but you're not getting opportunities. You've got Kirill, Zinchenko, a fit Timber, if fit, Tomiyasu. I'm probably missing someone else out, all in front of you. It's a myth, really and truly. And probably even young Waters, who can play left back, right back, and centre half as well. It does not make sense. It's about being selfish now and making inroads in the professional game. We've been linked with Ederson of Atalanta. Don't know too much about him, but he's a fairly decent box-to-box midfielder. I think he's Brazilian. Apparently, Arsenal alongside Liverpool, Man United, Newcastle and PSG have made inquiries about Atalanta midfielder Ederson, age 24. The player is willing to listen to offers as long as an acceptable bid is made, which could happen in the summer. I think he's not too long joined them. And when you see all of these clubs linked with him, I'm not saying there's not a genuine interest, but how good has he been in Serie A? Are they trying to get him a new deal? I don't know. I doubt the credibility. I don't know for what Man United need, Newcastle or PSG, but Arsenal and Liverpool definitely need central midfielders. Smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't, people. So it's easy to link teams with guys if that makes sense. I don't know if it's true or not, but there you have that. Moving away from that, Kai Havertz. David Ornstein confirmed that Kai Havertz is earning a basic salary of 275 grand a week. Surely he's the highest earner at the club. And I wonder what that means for if you're bringing in an Osimhen or one of those top strikers when it comes to, God willing, renewing the Odegaards, the Salibas, the Sakas, etc. Especially if Havertz doesn't, do what Arteta brought him to do, really and truly. Apparently, Lino Sosa is being linked with a permanent move to Aston Villa. Fair enough. It is what it is in that regards. What else have we got? Once again, Arteta did say it wasn't possible to do any Jan deals, and now we didn't have the capacity to improve the team in the way that we think we want to improve it, so we decided to do nothing. I hear that. I hear that, but yeah, we've seen this report, and it's quite boring talking about Osimhen, if I'm honest, at this moment until something significant happens. But for you lot, Arsenal have reportedly made contact with the reps of Victor Osimhen regarding a move to the Emirates. That's what this Italian television station Rai 2 via Calcio Napoli 24 reports, that the Gunners are concretely interested in the striker who looks set to leave Napoli this summer, which the president confirmed he would leave as well. Me personally, I think he goes Chelsea, but I'd love to be proven wrong. But whether it's Vlahovic, Osimhen, Tony, Sesko, Boniface, something needs to happen. It seems like it's gone quiet around Nuno Tavares, and he still is drawing interest from Marseille people. Nottingham Forest, ironically, didn't want to let him go, and probably Marseille, I'm sure they've signed us left back, so they've probably moved on. Vlahovic to Arsenal, what's this? Arsenal need just show me just show me what makes sense. Apparently, Vlahovic would be cheaper. At the start of the window, the figure doing the rounds was around 50 million, which is less than Arsenal were prepared to pay when the Serbian pied the Gunners in favour of Juventus in 2021. Juventus might even have been open to a part exchange for who, though? They have been linked with young Charlie Patino and Thomas Partey. So there's no real substance. It's just we have been linked with Vlahovic before. We need a striker. Why not? Apparently, Arsenal are joining the race to sign this lad, people. He looked like he could be going West Ham. Ibrahim Osman hasn't quite happened, really. You'd imagine Arsenal have looked at wingers. Whether we're going to make a move is another thing. The report claims Arsenal could hijack the deal for Osman as they aim to keep building their squad for the future. Boy, other than Arsenal and West Ham, Brighton and Brentford are allegedly looking at him. So we'll see what happens there. I like this Hugo Larsson guy. I don't know the Eintracht Frankfurt lad too religiously, but one thing I like about him is his technical level. That's enough for me. Osimhen isn't clinical. I mean, it's a bit harsh. But I hear it. Blin reports that Arsenal and Liverpool are both interested in one of the surprise packages from this season. Apparently, Larsson only joined Frankfurt in the summer from Malmo. It's like Football Manager. From you hear a man's at Malmo, it's like telling me a Serbian player has come through Partizan or Dynamo Zagreb for Croatians. I might have never seen the footballer, but when I see them clubs, I know what they bring through, so have a look. He joined for 9 million. Frankfurt could make a tidy profit, people. Apparently, he's already made himself a key part of Frankfurt's midfield and had strong performances against both Dortmund and Bayern Munich. He has a contract until 2028 without a release clause. Frankfurt probably won't want to sell him cheaply. They sell, they believe he could be available for one day, be sold for 80 million. That's crazy. Arsenal and Liverpool allegedly are keeping tabs, so we'll have to watch his progress. I mean, if Arsenal and Liverpool want you, then I think he'd be interested, but does it make sense making that move yet? You've just got your feet in the door at Frankfurt. Develop, do what you're doing. We'll probably end up with Vlahovic, I bet. Vlahovic, Zubimendi, and Neto. I can see Arteta grabbing these players. I'd rather we go for Savic, Zubimendi, Xavi Simons, Sane, and Martinez. To be honest, I wouldn't be against Neto, Zubimendi, and Vlahovic. And the names you said, I just really dream of a world where we've got a striker, we've got the wingers, because if we got one winger and one striker, I won't quite say our attacking options are sorted, but we can shut up about that. For me, central midfield. We can shut up about that if we do what we need to do. And maybe one Tomiyasu Timber multifunctional defender. We probably need to look for a backup keeper as well, because you'd imagine Ramsdale's going to keep it moving, and we'll have to see from there. Again, all the talk doing the round seems to be young winger Marquinhos leaving on loan. He's apparently close to joining Corinthians on loan with an option to buy deal. Listen, we signed him in 2022, 2024. Hasn't worked out, people. Turn that 3 million into 6 or something now, and let's keep it moving. And maybe a move back to his homeland could be great. Maybe he's made the move too early. Didn't work at Nantes, didn't work at Norwich. Clearly, Arteta don't rate you that much because you're not playing. So it is what it is. Corinthians have a good relationship with Arsenal sporting director Edu. He worked for the club. Maybe they're doing him a solid, people. Marquinhos is out of the plans. He's currently away with Brazil in the pre-Olympic tournament. So yeah, there's several reports, people. He's only played 150 minutes across 7 games for Nantes. So he hasn't put himself in the shop window at all, really and truly. We've gone over that with Havertz. In relation to Andre, it feels like so long ago when we was actually linked with Andre, who's over there in Brazil. It seemed like he could be going to Liverpool. Their president has said they rejected a 30 million euro offer from Liverpool, and then said a second offer was made from an English club for under 30 million. Now Fulham were linked with him, but I wonder if Arsenal tried a thing there. I'm not too sure, but there you have it. Marquinhos is expected to return to Brazil on loan, says the Standard, people. Apparently, Fluminense want to take him on loan and would prefer for any deal to include an option to make it permanent. Get it done, man. We got it wrong. Turn the 3 million into something. Bradley Ibrahim, again, is set to join Hertha Berlin on a permanent transfer as well, people. And there are rumours that Lino Sosa could be departing, people. And apparently he's got interest from Juventus, Galatasaray and Rangers. Now, in terms of impending first-team football, big club like Galatasaray, massive club like Juventus, great, and Rangers is a big club, but I might be angling for Rangers, if I was him, I might be angling for Rangers. I understand Aston Villa, good academy, good coaching staff, Uno Emre, all of that stuff. Probably move closer to home, but I'd probably be angling for Rangers, I think that's the closest route into the first team. You get there, make a name for yourself. Rangers will sell you to the Premier League. Romano hasn't said the fee we're going to get for him, people. So we wish him all the best. And even if he goes, you've still got Luca Dean and Moreno ahead of you. So we wish him all the best, innit? But it's very difficult. But it all depends. They might say, this time you're not in the first team, but boom, you're gonna sign for us. You're gonna go on loan in the summer, or you're gonna go on loan in January. You do what you need to do. You could be in the team next year, or you go on loan in League One. Then you're gonna go Championship, and then you're involved. I don't know if Arsenal are saying anything of the sort, people. What's going on here? We've actually been linked with William Poncho. So yeah, we bet it wouldn't be an Arsenal transfer window without linking us with another defender. Apparently, we're interested in recruiting the services of the Eintracht Frankfurt centre-back William Poncho, as reported by Belgian journalist Sasha Tuvelli. Spurs also have a strong interest in him and have scouted him on a couple of occasions. And apparently, in terms of the Ecuadorian defender, Liverpool, Man United, Real Madrid and Napoli have also been looking at him. And he joined last summer. I mean, their scouting department's doing all right. 2 of your players been signed last summer, and they're both being linked with Arsenal amongst other clubs. We all know that's not going to happen now, really and truly. Once again, Newcastle are still interested in Koza Dewberry. So, yeah, we probably would see some. Oh, wow. Callum Wilson rumours. Allegedly, people, Arsenal could have the opportunity to sign Callum Wilson in the final hours. Arsenal could have the opportunity to sign Newcastle United star Callum Wilson in the final days of the 2024 winter window at the Emirates, as per Romano. I'll be open to taking him on loan for the remainder of the season just to tie us over, and then we can, you know, if we can put some money down for your teammate Isaac, if we can go for all the other strikers, fair enough. But Callum Wilson on a permanent, I'm not for it. We were linked with Dewsbury Hall. That don't seem to be going anywhere. For what it's worth, Romano said, yes, I think that will be the case. It could be one to watch. Newcastle insist that the player is going nowhere, which is the same position they had on Trippier and also Almiron. So it's not easy, but if they receive an important proposal because of FFP, that could be a different situation. Wilson could be open to the move. We heard rumours about a transfer to Atletico Madrid, but from what I'm hearing, they will sign Moise Kean, which that didn't work out. That move's been broken down. So maybe he could still be set for sunny Spain. So it all depends how you look at it, man. Like everybody's linked with everyone. Doesn't feel like there's anything credible there. 74 likes. Can we get to 100? We'll lose academy players fast if Arteta isn't giving anyone minutes. I agree and disagree. I think we're going to lose players. It happens to everyone, especially with players more keen to go abroad. We're getting better as a team. Not everyone can make it, but when there is an opportunity to give 1-2 minutes that could make all the difference, I agree. Mikel Arteta should be looking to do that. The Granola striker from Ukraine is different gravy, would be a good signing for Arsenal at 26. Big up DG. We ain't buying anyone because we ain't sold anyone. Need to look before we can buy. Look at Spurs. Sold many players. That's who are buying them. We'll get a player in on deadline day. I would like Arsenal to loan some Real Madrid players like Galeur or the new Brazilian kid, especially with Mbappe going there next season. I mean, if you're Endrick, you probably want to stay at Real Madrid and immerse yourself and learn. Are the Galeur the same? But I wouldn't be against it. Jimenez from Feyenoord looks good, but yeah. I mean, Lautaro Martinez, I'm a big fan of his, but it seems like he's going to sign a new deal at Inter Milan, and that one there seems dead in the water. But if you could get me Lautaro Martinez, Vlahovic, Osimhen, Ivan Toney, these are the brackets. And just below that, for me, I know he's not hitting the ground running, but I wouldn't be against Sesko. Wouldn't mind being against taking a chance on a Boniface. Ferguson from Brighton is going to cost stupid money, really and truly, and you're going to give him need to give him scope to develop, but I wouldn't mind taking a chance on that. I like when we sign players from La Liga, some unknown players going about their business in that league and are doing better than most players in the Prem. I would like a couple more La Liga signings. Arteta, that's your homeland. Bring me the Zuba Mendes and people of that ilk. Propaganda, yeah, it is. What else have we got? Have I missed anything? No, I haven't missed out anything. Big up you lot, people. I thought you lot would all be busy, but you lot's talking points, differences of opinions, etc., have been spot on today. But yeah, with that being said, I haven't heard of Zinny White fight. Is it real or fabricated? It's exaggerated, man. It's just a bit of handbags about conceding the goal, really. And then it's just people getting 2 and 2 and making $1 million, really and truly. Like, I have to say it, like, I'm sorry, I don't think you've been in masculine environments if you're genuinely crying or making this Benjamin White, Zinchenko stuff anything more than it needs to be. I understand the media doing that because it's engagement and stuff, and I kind of played on that because it put them in the title, so I'm a bit shameless as well. But come on, man, it's nothing really and truly, man. What league do you think is the best league to sign players from? It's difficult, really. I don't think that's the way of answering it, but anywhere really. I have liked the fact that under Arteta we've been going for players in the in the Prem. I do think there's gems. Obviously, the Championship's expensive now, but there was a time you could have got Elise and Eze on the cheap. I do like players out of Spain. I do think, Ajax and them kind of clubs there, maybe that's something, based on Timber's success, that's something we could be playing on as well. Wherever, really and truly, it depends, really. In theory, I know it's not the same, but I suppose if I was looking for a defender, I'd be going to Italy, like an Italian national and stuff like that. If I want a midfielder, I might be, for what I like from my midfielders, I might be shopping in Spain, but it's not always like that. DJ, I'll be at the Arsenal-Liverpool match this weekend, my first visit to the Emirates. Hopefully it's not your last, and hopefully Arsenal, with you breaking your Emirates stadium virginity, we get 3 points, man. But boy, I like Gibbs White, man. I wasn't always convinced, but this season he showed me something, and yesterday I was really, really impressed. I prefer Ramsey from Aston Villa, but I like Gibbs White, and the fact that he's captain in Nottingham Forest means he's of a certain mentality. And him and Smith Rowe, I'm sure they won the under-17s World Cup together for England. I like him a lot. I got a lot of time for him. But again, these lot are gonna cost peas. Kubo would be lit. I'm not really on the Solanke thing, man. I don't think he's bad, and I do think in a better team he might do all right. Obviously, he's 26 now, so he might be showing levels, but I'm not convinced, man, really. Again, if he signs, I'll back him. But if you can't get the more higher level strikers we've been linked with, then for me, go and get me a goal scoring winger and let's just call it quits, if I'm honest with you. and we just keep it like that. I'm happy we ain't getting no Nana anymore. That would have been a waste of money. He wouldn't have hit crazy heights. I think he would have been slightly overpriced, but I wouldn't say a waste of money. He would have been calm in the squad. But yeah, I do think there's a couple others. Ramsey gone a little quiet. Gordon looks a good player. I hear that. And to be fair, Emre must be absolutely dumbfounded with his team's performance from start to finish yesterday. That was terrible. Big up yourself, Snack Daddy, as well, for subscribing with Amazon Prime as well. But yeah, with that being said, though, people, don't let me bore you lot and waste your time. I would say, though, make sure you're checking out the tactical analysis. Oh, gosh, see, he's talking now. Who's this YouTube guy, man? Oh, shut up, man. It's me. I'm allowed to say that. But as I was saying before I cut myself off, I did a tactical analysis of the game yesterday. So if you're still hungry for content, check that out. I don't want to take up any more of your time. I appreciate you lot offering me your thoughts on the game, your genuine concerns, how you feel about what Arteta said, Jesus said, etc., etc. As usual, I hope you lot remain in good health. Obviously, we'll be doing a watch-along for Arsenal versus Liverpool. If I'm able to take care of all my life admin from now till the evening, then we'll watch Liverpool-Chelsea together across YouTube and Twitch. So yeah, man, turn on your notification bells. There's always videos, there's always live streams, etc., etc. So yeah, and I know us content creators sit here and say this, but I genuinely am very appreciative of my regular supporters and those of you who found me recently. You lot make the platform, and it's a joy to sit here and speak football with you lot, really. So yeah, man, you lot stay safe, stay blessed. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't. Peace.
There's always just that active red flag. I think it's like